Hey, welcome back to the Man Cave Podcast, episode 4, fellas. Episode 4, fellas, week 4, man. Another week, another day to get better, expand your understanding, and just look at stuff from a different perspective, man. All right, it's your boy Primo, aka Mr. Man Cave, aka Mr. Male Social Worker. You feel me? I'm back with another one, man. So let's go ahead and get into it, fellas. First thing I want to say is this year we'll give y'all a challenge. This year, I challenge y'all to read. Read. Pick up a book, man. All right, let's do 3 new books this year, and that's starting out light. Let's do 3 new books this year. Take your time with it, but 3 new books from now to the end of the year. 3 new books this year. These are some books that I'm currently having my collection. Hopefully, y'all currently have my collection right now, man. I've been reading this for a little back and forth on that one, while and this is the latest book that I'm reading. Just to get another perspective on life, man. But not only does reading, enhance your intellect, it also expands your vocabulary, right? And a lot of people are forming this new variation of ADHD where they can't sit still due to TikTok and all these reels and just being on their phone. They used to the 15-second minutes of, whatever, 15 seconds of, entertainment. So sit down and rewire your brain, reprogram your brain, and get back to being able to sit still with yourself and being able to focus, right? All right. So before I get into it, I want to talk about this right quick. We have to speak on this topic of lukewarm Christianity that's going on right now, right? And I don't say this to chastise anybody or say you right or wrong or whatever. What I want to say is make sure you actually following and 100% believe in the stuff that you're talking about, right? I'm just saying, bro. Let's keep it a stack, right? And that's a lot of the stuff that's going on right now, or a lot of the church hurt that's happening that people aren't taking accountability for. Yes, we know what flesh is. Yes, we know people are human, but doesn't that mean certain people shouldn't be in certain positions of leadership? I'm just being honest. Let's talk about it, bro. Because we got this Donnie McClurkin situation going on right now. But this is not the first time we heard of Big Bro being on that side. Not saying that as not saying anything is wrong with anybody's sexual preferences or choices or whatever. What I'm saying is if he's a part of something, my fault, y'all. Just saying if he's a part of something that speaks against whatever, or condemn other people for being whatever, I don't think you should be a part of leadership because that's going to cause further more confusion, right? And again, we have to stop giving people the benefit of the doubt because regardless of who he is, what you did was wrong, very wrong. And I'm pretty sure it's not the first time, and there's a lot of instances that this happens. Let's talk about it because we could talk about the tight suits in church. Let's be honest, we could talk about the tambourine playing and a lot of the stuff that we see now, but we got to talk about the elders and the deacons that have perverted the church to make it look like the way it looks now. We could judge the females that come in and look at the way they look, right? We could judge them, but we're not gonna hold accountable the reverend, the priest that's doing such and such. I mean, we just gonna let that slide, right? Come on, bro. We gotta hold people accountable for this stuff, man. That Drewski skit was funny. It was funny and it was on point because that's how a lot of these mega churches are starting to get nowadays. Let me tell you something. I went to a church when I was younger, and it kind of just hit me the other day when I was thinking about this. And and I'm not gonna take it out of context, but I'm gonna just say it for what it is. I went to a church when I was younger where we used to have to call in children's church, we used to have to call the teachers or whatever commander. We called them commander. Now, benefit of the doubt, right? I grew up in Fayetteville, so we right next to Fort Bragg, so a lot of them probably was veterans or whatever. But it's just the fact that I'm a little black boy running around calling all these white men commander, man. And then come to find out, I ain't gonna say too much, but people had some differences in opinions with the Charlie Kirk situation or whatever. So it's kind of like, mm, we can't keep excusing certain stuff because we're believers. Everybody's just not cut from the same cloth. Hey, that's neither here or there though. What I'm saying is if you're gonna believe in something, you need to follow those guidelines. Don't tailor it to how you want to fit your life, how you want that mold to make you look good, or you still be able to do what you want to do, but still get the aesthetic of having this. Nah, you are a sinner. It's probably gonna sin again. Lord forgive. Like, Lord forgive. Like, let it go, bro. It's okay. Just understand what you're really getting yourself into, and before you try to do this big stern walk, know what it comes with, right? And I'm not saying it's wrong, and I'm not saying that we're not gonna fall short. What I'm saying is, don't be out here teaching and preaching, laying hands, singing, doing all this and that, or just upholding this big personality that you're the biggest Christian or whatever, and you don't follow the rules and guidelines for what it says. That's not what it says. That's not what the word says. Make sure you're actually reading the word for yourself, right? Hey, but who am I? You know what I'm saying? But who am I? Who am I? But man, let's talk about it. Episode 4, Mama's Boys. Mama's Boys. I want to talk about Mama's Boys today. Look, this is a topic that we got to speak on, and I want to take it from a couple of different perspectives. Right? I ain't gonna make this video too long today. This is a stage of life that a lot of us have to outgrow being a mama's boy, right? And there's two different mama's boys. Mama's boy where you coddle, you all up under your mom, spoiled, she treats you like her boyfriend or whatever, right? Then you got the mama's boy that just was raised by their mom. So a lot of their understanding and stuff that, you know, they do in life, marriage, whatever, come from her. So it's kind of conflicting on them going into manhood and them trying to outthink the foundation that their mom did give them, right? So they're not necessarily the coddle or cuddly type, but they still have the understanding of the person that raised them. They try to implement that into their grown man life now, right? For one, I want to say there's nothing wrong with this because we have to first thank our moms for being there and and stepping up and doing what the other parent didn't, right? But in the same breath, we have to understand that present doesn't mean perfect, right? So there's a lot of good stuff that your mother taught you, bro. But there are a lot of feminine traits that you have to unlearn to unlock more masculinity that you need to get you through life, right? Because a lot of us that grow up with our moms, we're emotional. Regardless if you want to admit it or not, we're very emotional. And when I say emotional, it's not always tears and crying and being sad. No, emotional is like me. I use myself as an example. Emotional, I always got to vent. I always got to vent. I always got to explain why I feel this type of way or how this made me feel or try to get somebody to understand what they did to me or whatever. Like I over explain myself and I over vent a lot of times because my feelings are hurt. Let's get down to it. We gotta stop trying to say mad and other stuff to make up for call it what it is. Your feelings hurt, right? This is not good. As a man, sometimes you gotta shut up, bro. Shut up. Because you running your mouth and you always trying to say this and that is not gonna make anything better. If anything, like what they say, vents lead to other rooms. Vents lead to other rooms, bro. Sometimes you gotta learn how to take stuff on the chin and do better next time. Because always yapping and over explaining yourself is not gonna get you nowhere. It's not. But living in emotion and constantly reliving the moment. A lot, 9 times out of 10, nobody's ever gonna get where you're coming from. So as a man, sometimes we just have to do better. Or a lot. What I'm learning now is we have to remove ourselves from certain situations that don't benefit us, right? Excuse me. But a lot of this emotion we're facing, we try to come off as anger. It's not anger. You don't know how to deal with it. And they associate anger with masculinity, and that's far from the truth, right? As I get older, I'm learning to sit in my emotions now, right? I don't listen to rap music before really 12, but really before 1 o'clock. I try to do 1 o'clock. I don't really listen to rap music. I don't listen to rap music at all before one. And then I noticed that most of the time that turned into the rest of the day because I don't want to hear that. Or, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that frequency or that whatever that type of music. So in doing this, I get to deal with my emotions before I start my day. A lot of times we already wake up in the bad mood or the wrong side of bed, as they would say, and that's how we continue the rest of our day on that same timing, right? But I noticed when I stopped listening to certain music at a certain time or just period, I was able to control my emotions more and deal with my emotions better because it's some days that we miss. I feel like we misarticulate our feelings because of how we try to the narrative we try to put on them, right? Because you really wake up sad or your feelings really hurt for whatever reason. It could just be life. Your feelings really hurt, but you turn on this rap music that's talking about, oh, you ain't got nobody, you grounded you came from nothing, you got out the mud, this and that. And you low key kind of feel that, but that ain't really your situation. So now this narrative of whatever this person is rapping and saying is what you tie to your feelings now, and now that further leads you to misinterpret what you're actually going through, and you really internalizing somebody else's problems, and you never get to deal with yours because now you thinking, oh, I got out the mud, I don't got nobody the whole time, bro. You miss your daddy, your feelings hurt, your mama hurts your feelings, your girlfriend hurts your feelings. Someone like you confused on life, you want more out of life, like tired of being broke. Like it's certain stuff like that that we overlook because we try to paint a certain narrative on our feelings that's not true, right? And it's times now where, bro, I'll be honest, like I cry a lot more now. I keep it a stat, bro. I cry a lot more now, and like I said, it's not always a boo-hoo cry or whatever. Sometimes it's just like a little teardrop or just being reflective and getting full in the moment. But like, bro, I cry a lot more now because I deal with my emotions. Once I deal with my emotions, I have the space to do other stuff in the day, right? So another point, mama's boys, we grow up with this sort of like man of the house syndrome, right? Especially those of us that came from a single parent household. Let me tell you an issue that a lot of our mothers have put it. A lot of mothers have done that put a bad seed in our minds. They they connected masculinity and dominance with chores and different, acts, right? So when I say that, like, boom, you take out the trash because you're a boy and you're the man in the house, you gotta do such and such, or you check the mail because you do this and that, or you cut the grass, you do this and that, you move this piece of furniture, you do this and that. That don't make you a man, bro. I hate to crush your ego. That don't make you a man, brother. You just know how to move a chair. You just know how to check the mailbox. You know how to do something for yourself now. Don't make you a man, bro. A lot of times we confuse being a man with our acts of service and what we can physically do. But the mental and emotional aspect of it, we never get to learn that part. Come on, y'all. We gotta stop this and we gotta wake up, right? It comes to a point in your life where you gotta outgrow the stuff that your mama told you, right? And take in the good, but you still have to become a man of your own, right? A lot of y'all have anxiety. A lot of y'all have poor communication skills. A lot of y'all are self-centered. A lot of y'all are, insecure. And these are traits that you have been passed down from your mom. And ladies, don't get on here and look at me sideways or whatever saying that because it's true. Let's keep it a stack, right? Especially those of us that have like more so heavy set moms. When we grew up in school, how did they treat the big people, bruh? Let's keep it stacked. How did they treat the big people, bruh? So just imagine that girl. She get pregnant. She have a child. A lot of these situations are our parents that we see and we went to school with on a day to day, right? Or the girl that you deem to be fast or she a hoe, this and that. She just giving it out. She giving it out. She get pregnant. That's some of y'all mamas, bruh. Like let's keep it a stat. Just because we are who we are, we don't perceive our parents that we don't look at them like that. But in reality, bruh, that's a lot of our situations. So a lot of us are being groomed with parents that are learning how to. You're being raised off how to, right? They don't know they're learning how to while raising you. But in the midst of that, they haven't dealt with a lot of feelings that they had for themselves and in their situation in their own personal lives. You automatically inherit that stuff, regardless if they try to or not. It's embedded in you. That's why I tell people stop rushing to have kids or whatever, because you have to do a lot of development within your individual self first before you become a parent. We've seen too many examples of this situation to keep going and keep doing the same stuff. And what you think you can prevent, you cannot. So, us as men, we're going to have to go the extra mile to mature and become the man we want to be for ourselves. You're going to have to learn, take the good traits, take the good stuff that you did learn growing up, but you're going to have to ultimately make a man out of yourself, bruh. You're going to have to. And it's possible. You're going to have to get in these books, get an understanding of your own, take the responsibilities and stuff that you were taught at home, and become the man that you want to become, man. Stop comparing yourself to other people. You know what I'm saying? Stop being emotional all the time, emotional negatively, because it's not wrong to have emotion and deal with your emotions, but projecting your emotions and giving your emotions false narrative to try to keep up this false sense of manhood and masculinity, that's out the window, bro. If you said you said your feelings hurt, your feelings hurt. It's okay. It's human behavior. You know what I'm saying? But us as mama boys, we have to stop. We have to get out of this super emotional state of mind. It's either it's going to lead you to be very angry, you're going to bleed on a lot of people, or you're going to be more so the type that you can't be alone. And those are the two most dangerous men, I believe. A man that can't stand alone, and one that's he's super emotional and disguises it as anger. Right? He was trying to use anger. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just saying this is a result of women, but in a lot of single parent households, especially a lot of us that's been raised by our moms, we fall in this category, right? So this is the year that we create an understanding of our own, and we tailor that to the man that we want to become for us, right? Not for anybody else, not even for necessarily, oh, the dad that I didn't have, he didn't have him. So now you got to become the man you want to become. So when it's your turn, you'll never be that. That's the part that they missed in life, the self work, and that's what we're doing now, the self work, right? So to all my mama's boys, this is the year that we start building an understanding and thinking for ourselves, right? Getting these books, expand your understanding. Episode 4.